Welcome to Narrow Ground Entertainment. I am Steve the Unimpressed. This is COVID Besieged, episode 12. One of my family members tested positive for COVID-19, so my workplace made me stay home for a while. I decided to make productive use of that time by making a YouTube video a day until I could go back to work. In yesterday's episode, I failed to make any progress on the chemistry station, and I had said earlier on in the episode that if I couldn't find any of the acid that I need to make it, I would abandon that and start working on other things. And I did indeed fail to find any acid, so I'm going to turn my attention to farming now. And as I was thinking about it after ending yesterday's episode, I decided it might be beneficial to just do a full farming tutorial, because the farming skill is not as costly to acquire as I had remembered it being. That was one of the changes for the Alpha 19 update, and I could make use of a lot of the crops that I can grow, and the sooner I get a steady supply of them, the better. My first stop on that is actually going to be this barn over here, which, if you have watched the rest of this series, you will remember is the place that I hid out for the first Seventh Day Horde. That place actually has a lot of the gut piles in it that you can harvest rotten flesh from, which is one of the ingredients that you need for farm plots. So that is going to be, well, actually not my first stop. My first stop is going to be the trader to dispose of some of my excess goods. But that will be the second stop. First, let's hop down here and grab the rest of the supplies that I'm going to need for the day. Since I've decided to do a full farming tutorial and not just plant the coffee seeds that I'd been talking about yesterday, I will plant those, but I've got other seeds as well. I'm going to grab all the seeds that I have, which includes corn, cotton, and I have pumpkins. I'm also going to grab all of the rotten flesh that I have, all of the nitrate powder that I have, and I'm going to grab my supply of corn and bring that with me as well, just in case I get enough experience to level up twice and gain the other two perks in the farming skills that I will need to be able to make vegetable seeds. For now, I'm going to head over to the trader, and I will cut back in after I visit him. My visit to the trader is complete, so it's time to go and snoop around the barn and see how much rotten flesh we can collect over here. I'm going to check outside in the farmyard. Doesn't look like there are any gut piles out here, but I know there are some inside. A couple in these stalls. It is heavily implied by the presence of a pig over here when the zombies have spawned in, that this barn is actually a pig farm. So that would be why there are a bunch of gut piles and rot just kind of lying around. 10 rotten flesh so far. Let's see, are there any more in here? Yep, there's a couple more over here. Grab those. I'm up to 22. And you'll notice I collected a lot of bones from that too, which is good, because I always need bones for glue. Oh, and there's a few more piles out here. Quite a few, it looked like 4. Okay, I've cleaned out all the gut piles I could find in this barn. That gave me 37 rotting flesh. I'm not sure how many farm plots that's going to let me make. Looks like I need 7 for each right now. So that would give me 5 in addition to the 2 that I already made yesterday. So 7 total, that's not a bad start. Since I am here anyway, I am going to grab some of the plants that are in this little garden off to the side of this farm. It looks like we have blueberries and yucca plants. Blueberries are a valuable food ingredient, so those will let me make blueberry pie if I can grow a consistent supply of them. Potatoes was really what I was looking for out here, but blueberries are a good thing too. If I can establish a consistent supply of those, I will be able to make blueberry pie, which is one of the better foods in the game. If you click on recipes, it will show you all the recipes you can make with something. Blueberry pie I can't actually make yet. I'll have to unlock more levels of Master Chef. That wasn't really the recipe I was interested in looking at, though. What I was interested in looking at was the blueberry seed. See, blueberries counts as a vegetable, so I can't make seeds for it yet. I need the next level of the living off the land perk before I'm able to do that. You do need 5 blueberries to make 1 seed, which seems like a horrible ratio. However, it's not actually as bad as it sounds, which I will explain later. Yucca fruit now, if I click on the recipes for that, I actually can make its seeds. That counts as a flower. So I'm going to go ahead and make one of those because I don't have one already. Yucca fruit can be used to make yucca juice at the campfire, which is a good hydration option. I think I've actually found a couple of these in the world that I might be storing at home. Let's run over to where this other barn is quick and see if there are any vegetables over there. I don't remember there being any planted things. Here's another gut pile. I'll happily grab that. One quick lap around this barn showed that there were no vegetables around it. So, unfortunately, I will have to look for potatoes elsewhere in time. But, for now, I am going to head back out of this snow and get to work on actually building the farm itself. And before I start that trip, I am going to come into my crafting menu and start as many farm plots as I can make crafting, because there's no reason to let the time that I spend running go to waste and have to wait for them to craft when I get there. Let's get out of the snow before I run across a cougar or a bear or something else that's going to kill me. We're out of the winter now and back over by the base. I'm not going to set up my farm plots over here. However, in my previous single-player world in Alpha 18, I did put my farm pretty much right next to my base, and I didn't really have any problems with zombies destroying it. In this playthrough, just for the sake of security, I am going to go down the hill over here and set up my farms down here. It is still worth looting bird nests when you find them, regardless of whether or not you're relying on bacon and eggs for food, because eggs are still a component of many of the better cooking recipes, like the recipe for blueberry pie. So the more of them you have, the better. Getting away from bacon and eggs, though, reduces your reliance on them. Move a little to the left. Thank you. I'm going to stop right at the bottom of the hill and put the farm somewhere in this area, because I don't really want it to be too far away. I just want it to be far enough that zombies shouldn't be constantly walking over it. So this will be as good a spot as any. There is no particular reason in the game mechanics, as far as I'm aware, for any particular farm layout. However, for convenience of harvesting when I need one particular crop, I do tend to lay it out in rows. I'm not going to bother with that right now because I'm going to be planting at most 2 seeds of any particular crop. So I only have 7 farm plots and I have a lot of seeds. One thing I will demonstrate quickly, because it's bound to happen from time to time, is your harvesting. You harvest your crops by punching them, and if you accidentally miss and hit the farm plot, you will do a little bit of damage to the farm plot. Not very much, only 1 point if you're harvesting with your fists, but it's still something. To repair that, you just take out any of the repair tools. The stone axe or the hammer will work, and so will the nail gun. I don't have that yet. As long as you have clay soil in your inventory, you will be able to repair it, because that is the item that is used to repair the farm plots. You just have to right-click on it with any one of those tools, and you will lose 1 clay soil from your inventory and repair your farm plot. It's probably a worthwhile sacrifice. So now I'm going to get the seeds that I want to plant into my hotbar. I'm going to keep my hunting rifle in my hotbar, though, just in case any zombies show up while I'm engaged in this. Coffee is already down there. I also want to plant the corn, pumpkins. Let's see. Cotton and yucca for sure. Do I have anything else that I have seeds for? Not at the moment. Coffee is one of the more useful of these, so since I have 5 different plants and 7 farm plots, I'm going to go ahead and plant 2 of the coffee. Also kind of demonstrates what I find important in my life. Can't function without coffee. Corn is also very useful, so I'm going to put 2 of those. Pumpkins, I'll do 1. Cotton, I'll do 1. And yucca, I will do 1. There's a couple of things that I'm actually relying on knowledge of Alpha 18 for, but I don't think these will have changed in Alpha 19. First is there are 3 growth stages of each of these plants. There is the seed stage, which is what we've just planted. The day after you plant them, the plant will get slightly bigger, and that text, when you target it, will change to corn growing. Then 2 days after you plant it, it will be ready to harvest. I forget what the parenthesis text is for that day, but it will be different than either seed or growing and will indicate that it's ready to harvest. The second bit of Alpha 18 knowledge that I don't think will have changed is that when you harvest these, what will happen is you will get a number of the fruit of that plant. So in the case of corn, I'll get several pieces of corn. The number that you get is dictated by how far along you are in the Living Off the Land perk, which is what I purchased to be able to make seeds in the first place. If you don't have any levels of it, you will get one fruit. If you have the first level of it, you will get 2, like I have. And then if you have the third level of it, you will get 3. The second level of the Living Off the Land perk is what allows you to make vegetable seeds, so you don't get a harvesting bonus for that. The other thing that will happen when you harvest it is it will automatically be replanted. So instead of having to harvest the fruit and make more seeds from it and replant the seeds, when this is full grown and I hit it to harvest it, I'll get the fruit and the plant will be replanted, so it'll revert to the seed stage. And that is why it's not such a costly proposition to use 5 of your corn or whatever vegetable you're trying to grow to be able to make a seed. You are able to plant seeds that you find in the world without any advancement in the Living Off the Land perk, so you can always plant and harvest plant seeds and harvest crops without any progression in that whatsoever. But if you want to be able to make seeds for yourself, you either need to buy that perk or find the relevant recipes. Just so that this is relatively complete information, because I did say I was going to try to make this a tutorial video, I'm going to quickly go over the Living Off the Land perk, which I actually already went over in yesterday's episode. To get to my goal of being able to craft seeds for the blueberries and the other vegetables, potatoes if I ever manage to find them, I need to get to Fortitude level 3. So I need to devote 1 more skill point to the base Fortitude attribute, and then I'll be able to buy the Farmer perk, and I'll be able to craft seeds. And farm plots will actually cost me less material to make as well. So while I'm going to try and gather a little more rotting flesh, I don't know that I will bother trying to craft any more farm plots until I gain a couple more levels and I'm able to get the Farmer perk and make them more cheaply. We are starting to run out of daylight, so what I think I'm going to do for the remainder of this day is run around in town or on the roads and look for more gut piles to harvest rotten flesh from. I will return to this farm plot to check it over the next few days, so if you are watching this as a tutorial video trying to figure out how to farm in 7 Days to Die, go ahead and watch the next couple of episodes just to make sure that my Alpha 18 information stays consistent. I did make it home before nightfall, but unfortunately I did not manage to find very much more rotting flesh. I only made it up to 11. So I probably will conserve all of that and not make any more farm plots until I can get the next level of Living Off the Land and make them a little more cheaply. I think the cost drops to 5 rotten flesh per farm plot. My character is also complaining about being hungry, so I'm going to feed him some canned food for now. That should keep him going. When I do have more farm plots available to me, it is likely that I will plant more of corn than anything else, and that is because corn is useful in quite a few more recipes. Corn is a component of almost all of the stew recipes. Actually, I think it is all of the stew recipes, and some of the other recipes as well. And one of the things you can make from corn is cornmeal, which is a component in a bunch more. In fact, even with my character's relatively lacking current cooking ability, there's something that I can make with cornmeal, which is cornbread. Cornmeal and water is all that you need to make that. So I'm going to make a couple of those, actually. Cornmeal in previous versions was not a spectacular food source, but it is something that's renewable for you, and, well, it's early game. It's probably more important that you be able to get it consistently than it is for it to be especially nutritious. A couple of those are done. Let's see how their stats stack up these days. Yeah, not very well. They do not give you very much food. However, as I just pointed out, you can make a lot of them. You can make a lot of them very quickly because they are low cost. That's where I'm going to leave things for this episode. We got a farm started, and that's a pretty good day's work. Special thanks to anybody who was watching this just as a tutorial video, trying to figure out how to farm in 7 days. I will try to make sure that I check the farm early in the day in the next couple of episodes, so that it's in a predictable place if you want to check and make sure that my Alpha 18 tricks didn't get changed in Alpha 19. If this did help you out as a tutorial video, please consider subscribing to my channel, because I will make occasional tutorial videos for 7 Days to Die in the future when I run into topics that I think I know enough about to teach people about. Regardless of why you were watching, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please hit the like button if you did. Subscribe to my channel for more content, and if you want to help my channel grow, please share it with your friends. Goodbye and God bless.